Hey guys, welcome back to the Tone Show. Today we're talking about Heretic. There's going to be a lot of spoilers in this video, so that's your warning right there. If you haven't seen it, go watch the movie, bookmark this video, and come back and check it out after. One quick note before we get started. I will not be touching on any religious themes in this video. There's plenty of videos right here on YouTube that have done a great job of breaking down all the religious themes and the things that are religious about the movie, so check those out. This one we're going to be talking about a little something more unsettling in my own opinion. This movie is directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. They're the writer-director duo who also directed Haunt. I actually did a review of that movie on my channel. I don't know why you guys didn't watch that. I'm going to put a link to it right here. I enjoyed a lot that movie. So going into this movie, I was already amped because I really enjoyed that film. So just a little note about that. Heretic follows two young women who find themselves trapped in a home with an older man, Mr. Reed, played by Hugh Grant. At first, he doesn't seem outwardly threatening. No weapons, no aggression, just a quiet, unsettling kind of control of the situation. But as time goes on, tension builds, and the true horror of the film isn't what he does, but how powerless the man makes these women feel as they try to navigate the situation without trying to make it worse. Now, Hugh Grant's Mr. Reed is an older, well-lived man. He's calm, soft-spoken, and he never really outright threatens the young women at first when he traps them in his home. And yet, from the moment they realize they can't leave, there's like this overwhelming sense of like dread that takes over. And he doesn't use like any weapon. He doesn't raise his voice. Like his mere presence, his age, his size, his authority is enough to keep the two young women in check. And that's where Heretic, I think, taps into a fear that a lot of men might not register the same way that women do. For many women, the threat isn't always a mass killer or a monster in the dark. It's a stranger who seems nice and who's completely in control of the situation. It's a feeling of helplessness, of being trapped, of walking like a thin line between like survival and like pushing someone too far. Heretic is terrifying not just because what Mr. Reed does, but it's also terrifying because the women don't know what he could do. And the fact that these women know is something that it also plays on you, the audience. Now let's flip the script a little. If Heretic was about two young men who was held captive by an older guy, what do you think would happen? They fight back, right? There's no question about that. If this movie was about two younger guys, they would be the 1-2 right away, right? They probably try to jump him, overpower him. They would at least give it a shot, right? It'd be 2-on-1, and the odds would probably be in the favor, unless like Mr. Reed was like an ex-Navy SEAL or something. But for these two young women, fighting back doesn't feel like an option. Not at first, anyway. They know if they push him too hard, the situation could like turn violent really fast. They don't know how far Mr. Reed's willing to go. So instead of like resisting him, they do what society's really conditioned women to do. They stay polite, they stay agreeable, they're compliant. Even after their instincts are telling them, yo, scream, run for the door, they're still there, they're smiling. And this movie also like really brought back that whole meme that was taking over the internet for a second, like that whole man versus bear, like if a woman encountered a man or a bear in the woods or in the forest, like which one should be more scared of? And a lot of guys on the internet were like upset because a lot of women, when you read the comments, they would say they'd rather encounter a bear. And men were like, why would you rather encounter a bear? And it's because women were saying the bear is predictable. Like the bear's either going to be hungry and he's going to attack them to eat them, or the bear might just leave him alone. But a lot of women online were saying when it comes to men, they're very unpredictable. You don't know if they're just playing nice, if they have some, some nefarious thoughts in their head that they want to act on. So a lot of guys got upset, and there was this whole like backlash of men saying, "Yo, this is unfair. Like you can have the bear. Like I'm not gonna come defend you next time Smokey the Bear attacks you right at a campsite." But it's because women have dealt with situations that a lot of men don't even think about. A lot of guys like us will walk outside in the middle of the night and we don't think anything about it. Like, yo, grab my keys, I'm going out to get something. A lot of women have been told, like, don't go out at certain hours. Make sure you don't dress a certain way. So, like, these things were clearly, like, written into the script. And I think they were done in a very creative way, which felt really genuine to me. Like, they felt genuine, like something a character would actually do. And I think that's exactly what Heretic plays on a lot. Mr. Reed, he's not like a growling beast or a bear that's chasing him around the house. He's a quiet, composed, seemingly rational man, right? Until he's not. And that makes him all the more terrifying. He doesn't lunge at them at first with a knife or anything. Like, that takes time. His existence in the space with them is a threat. And the women, like real women in real life, have to figure out how to navigate the situation, like without setting him off or escalating it and making it worse. And one of the things that I found like the most unnerving about watching this movie is like how long they stayed polite, like how long they smiled, how long they smiled with their eyes, even when it was clear that they couldn't leave that house. Like they were like, please, could you help us? We just want to leave. Like they were still being kind. Like they weren't raising their voices. They didn't get aggressive. Like I found that like it felt real. It felt like they were hostages, which they were. And that's not bad writing. Like that's real life right there. Like women are taught to de-escalate, to be agreeable, not to make waves. And Heretic really takes that and turns it on its head. Like it becomes the horror itself, which it is. This isn't just about two characters playing nice, to be convenient for a plot. This is a survival strategy that these women have. And because deep down, they know as long as they seem to cooperate, maybe he doesn't have a reason to hurt them yet. So, what makes Heretic truly terrifying? It's not about ghosts or demons or even like Hugh Grant's Mr. Reed being like a traditional slasher, right? Even though he gets kind of stabby at the end. It's about control without force, like power without presenting violence. It's like fear without an obvious threat. And in this horror film, I feel like one of the most unsettling things isn't the actions of the villain, it's the inaction, right? It's the way the women are trapped, the way that they hesitate, the way they try to play nice, even when this dude's clearly unhinged and they don't know like what's gonna push him over the edge. And that's what I think makes Heretic so effective. And it's not just another horror movie, it's a reflection of something like really real. And I think that makes the terror even more like terrible, right? And I don't think you need jump scares in this movie, really. There were a couple jump scares, but like there was enough terrifying stuff on the screen, I think. So what do you guys think? Does Heretic like hit you a little bit different when you think about it from this perspective? If you're a woman, I would love to know what your thoughts are on it, about this specific like aspect of the movie. If you're a guy, like did you think about this at all? Or like is this something like that you're like, I don't really know. Like, do you have a reason why you don't think this is the case? Put it in the comments. Like one of the great things about having a YouTube channel is having a conversation. Let's keep it civil. So yeah, put it in the comments. Let me know what did you guys think about this particular perspective of the movie. Is something that you thought about, or now that I've brought it up, like you're like, yeah, I can kind of see how that happens. So as always, that's just a Tone Show. Subscribe and like, hit me with a follow for more Tone Show, more horror analysis. Tone Show.